They said the truth won't survive beside the lies that maintain the decaying faces of display.
Hey everybody, what's up? This is Hold the Truth Hostage, where if the truth was so important, we wouldn't negotiate with lies. Now, this video is about something I've seen a lot in the manosphere, and something you guys have to watch out for. And it's actually a very, very bad sign that, these men are either doing this subconsciously, or they basically are actually against you continuing your bloodline. This video is about men shaming men away from having children. Men stopping men from having children. Now, in this community, this manosphere, in this the Crimson Pill and MGTO community, there's a lot of men that will tell you, don't have children. You're not missing anything out on not having children. That, what I'm saying? And this is the part that these are the signs you need to look at that automatically disqualify them and actually turns this to negative intent. Because, you have, is when they say you're missing out, you're not missing out on anything. When, if you don't have children or not, that's strike one. And remember how I'm trying to tell you to live. You live by the one strike. Now, the second strike is when they tell you, and this is very hypocritical and outright stupid, is when they tell you there's 8 billion people on Earth. You shouldn't have children. There's more than enough children, and we're overpopulating the world. That's strike two. Strike two, when they tell you that. That's the reason you shouldn't have kids. We're overpopulated. That's strike two right there. Remember, I tell you to live by the one strike. So any man that tells you you're not missing out on anything, that's a strike, because that's a lie. Then the second strike is in very, very SJW-ish and very, very a lot of them don't know that very SJW-ish and very subconscious, because let's check this out, man. We men are programmed. One man could populate the world. We men are programmed to where we don't want other men to basically, on a genetic level, we want to pass our seed. We don't want other guy to pass his seed. And remember, we're not living in the caveman days where we're fighting, or, tribals, we're not at war. It's different when you're in a civilized, more country, whatever, third world nation, or whatever you want to call it. You know what I'm saying? We're not battling that way. So it becomes a battle of psychological warfare. So you're gonna tell me that I'm not missing out on anything from being a father. And then the other thing, you're gonna tell me the world's being overpopulated. This world where you could literally fit, I think, forgot what the person said, you could fit probably over 50% of the people in all of America in Texas alone, and still have room. You know what I'm saying? So we're not overpopulating the world, man. And resource-wise, we have a lot of resources. The problem when it comes to us with resources is that we don't diversify our resources. For example, you got a lot of people eating meat. You know what I'm saying? Then you got a lot of people only eating vegetables. You know what I mean? We don't diversify what's on the menu either. You know what I'm saying? For example, grasshoppers, insects. There's more than enough food sources. It's just that they've commercialized and stigmatized what we can and can't eat. There's more than enough food in this world. You know what I'm saying? But you live in a world where they're telling, you got fast food restaurants. You got a lot of locations that keep telling you to overeat, overeat, overeat. We have more than enough resources on this planet to feed and provide for everyone. It's just that the way we go about handling it is why we don't have any. Where we tend to have droughts is how we handle the scenarios. You got all these fast food joints producing hundreds of burgers every day when the majority of people don't even need to eat that much. You know what I'm saying? It's how we use the resources. Then they stigmatize certain things. Oh, you shouldn't be eating grasshoppers when grasshoppers are higher in protein and are more easily digestible by humans. You could even see it in the tribal people that they were eating more insects than anything else. It's easier to digest and you get more protein, but they've stigmatized it. You know what I'm saying? So that's two strikes. You know what I mean? And there's a third one, but the third strike is basically them. The third strike is them making it look like, the only women you can, you got a lot to risk. Yes, domestically, any man's mind we're in a global economy. You're telling me you could get a shirt from China. You know what I mean? You could get cars from other countries, but you can't have children in other countries. Come on, man. BS. And a lot of these men subconsciously, and like I said, I've watched a lot of videos. Another strike, and this one's a very big strike. I was watching a MGTOW video, and you know what I'm saying? And there's two of them, they bring this up. These men, this is the third strike, probably the most dangerous strike that you should stay away from these guys, is they bring up that if we had less men, if more men went to war and died, we'd be able to return back to normal. Hard times breed better men. BS. Hard times don't breed no better men. And you hoping that more men would die so you get more access to more women when the laws do not change. It would just mean, for example, let's just say, you're in Texas, you're in New York. Out of nowhere, 1 million men die. You know what I'm saying? But the laws don't change. So that means there's less men for the family court to go after. Nothing changes. You know what I mean? These men still have to deal with the same problem. So any man that's out there making a video where they bring up, it's a good thing that men would go to war and die. Those men, you got to disqualify them. I won't mention names, but I've seen, there's a YouTuber I used to follow, man. I used to listen. He was a wise man. He used to drop a lot of knowledge, man. You know what I'm saying? He used to kill it, man. And then one day he made a video where he even kept blocking my comments that kept getting deleted, where I said, dude, if you're hoping the death of many men so you can have more opportunities to get more women, you're an even worse simp. The worst simp among us is praying for the death of men. And there's there's even bigger accounts of men in this community that have said that. You know what I'm saying? That they're hoping that, there was war and less men. And if men go through harsher times, war and combat, these guys are idiots. You know what I mean? That it's gonna get better. The laws don't change. It don't matter if you're going through hell and many men die. If the laws are still the same, it's just in a family court size. Well, we got less men to get money from. You know what I'm saying? Putting them on child support and alimony and stuff like that. We got less men. We still have them. We just don't have as many. So any man that's speaking of, harsher times made good men. If harsher times made so many good men, you know what I'm saying? And look at the boomer generation. You know what I'm saying? Harsher times made, and not even the boomer generation, because a lot of times these men, we speak of the boomer generation, but the boomer generation doesn't count for the ones that were born during, the ones that fought World War II. They're the ones, they went through the harshest times, and look at where we are now. They fought in World War II, and look what they ended up doing. They ended up passing all these laws, and they literally allowed the stability of the families in their country to go straight to the gutter. So how does harsher times breed better men? Explain that to me. So I mean, we're living through it. Harsher times bred those men that went to World War II, those men that went to Vietnam, and what did it do? You know what I'm saying? What did it do? Did it end up with the laws being, fair between the sexes? Did it end up with not having a government that literally seeks to destroy the stability of a family, all to increase its monopoly over over the children and all that? You know what I mean? How great were harsher times, huh? Any man that brings up, you gotta disqualify his manhood. He brings up that more men should die so I can get more opportunities. That guy ain't a man. You can't look at that person as a man anymore. That's a shell of a man. You know what I mean? He's not even a complete man. You know what I mean? You can't look at the laws and everything like that and tell you the truth. That guy ain't a man. That guy's a shell of a man, and that guy's probably the worst of simps, because this simp is actually hoping that men around him die so he can get more opportunities to simp. You know what I'm saying? So we can have more opportunities to simp and compete with less men while simping. You know what I'm saying? Less simps of his own to go against. But let's get back to this video. Like I said, man, and I've seen it. There's a lot of top people on this whole manosphere. And like I said, subconsciously, they might be saying it. Hey, don't have children. You know what I'm saying? You're not missing out on anything. And here's the worst one they bring up. Children are expensive. Here's the truth about the expense when it comes to children. The reason children are so expensive is because of, it goes back to the laws. Because the woman is the head of the state, she's the head of the household, and any time and her emotions are what's fluctuating and controlling that whole relationship, since at any time she could basically cancel the family. She could break it up. You know what I'm saying? You could end up from being, and here's the thing, it's got nothing to do with marriage and all that. You know what I'm saying? If you have a woman with you, y'all had some kids, at any time she could give you the experience of losing your kids under the way the laws work. You know what I'm saying? So this is where the whole happy wife, happy girlfriend, happy life comes. Because, if she gets jealous, like I said, it's about emotion. If she gets jealous of her neighbor's kid wearing the latest clothes and this and that, you know what I'm saying, keeping up with the Joneses, you risk losing your family stability. Out of that jealousy and emotion, she could destroy her family. So the price of you raising your kids increases. Then you got to add in the factor that, the majority of women aren't cooking, nor are they're not even breastfeeding their children anymore. They're giving them Similac and all that crap. You know what I'm saying? The health of the children isn't even as good. They're not getting, a lot of these scientists will say, well, Similac provides all the same nutrients. And no, but Similac doesn't provide the same the nutrients coming from those genetics. In your mom's, a mother breastfeeding her child, there's certain genetic cues that she's passing down to that child. You know what I'm saying? And then the expense of buying all that Similac versus the mother of your children breastfeeding them. You know what I'm saying? Because, hey, she got to keep her breast perky and all that, so she could still be on the attractive train instead of being a mother. So a lot of the price hikes of raising children comes down to the fact that a man isn't in charge of that family's stability. Because how expensive were the kids before the his fault divorce was passed, when the father could literally, if you watch a show called Everybody Hates Chris, the father of the household, you know what I mean, literally, and even if you go beyond that, you go further back where fathers had hand-me-downs, where they would save their clothing to hand down to their children. You know what I'm saying? That a lot of people looked at that, well, that was being cheap and we were poor. No, that was actually instilling a level of family. Like, you know, families used to pass down shirts from your cousin, your uncle. Like, there was literally a thrift store between you and your family. They didn't throw away clothes. They would just put it somewhere and pass it down. So you wore your cousin's shirt, your cousin's jeans. That connection to your family only got stronger. But once no fault divorce and, you know, the welfare and all that stuff kept increasing, then the media ran with it. That aspect and connection to your family was gone. You know what I'm saying? So the price of you know, because a lot of these men will bring up, it's because of their lack of awareness and to admit, you know, where they failed. You know what I'm saying? They failed in having children under a law that literally will, under a system that literally will destroy their family. And that's the biggest issue, because a lot of men in this community bring up, well, women are not, you know, they struggle with accountability. Well, a big majority of this community struggles with accountability, where they won't come up and say, yo, man, I had children here. I messed up, dude. You know, it's not that you shouldn't have children. You just shouldn't have children here. You shouldn't have children anywhere where the law in the system is designed to literally destabilize and destroy your family by empowering the emotions of the mother of your children above your logical stability as a man seeking to balance out and protect and provide for his family. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these men, you follow them. You follow a lot of them. You know, some of them might even be listening to this video, you know, and hopefully they can get it where they messed up. You know what I'm saying? They can learn from it. A lot of these men will, you know, like I said, strike one, they'll tell you, you know what I'm saying? And this is the worst strike, where they tell you, strike one is very damaging, where they tell you you're not missing out on anything. So you're not missing out on being a father. You're not missing out on actually providing and teaching someone that's of your own flesh in the next generation. You know what I mean? You're not missing out on that bond between father and his children. You know, a bond that is built on genetics. You know what I'm saying? And then they bring up, well, you're not going to give them any opportunities. Well, the biggest opportunity, now you shouldn't, you know, I agree with this. You should not bring a child into this world if you economically are bringing them into a situation where they have to starve and literally, you know, are living based off what the government, the scraps and rations of welfare the government will give you. You know what I'm saying? That is that is doing a disservice to that child, you know, bringing them into the world where you can't even feed them and provide for them. I agree with that 100%. You know what I'm saying? And even, you know, even a poor, other countries where it's a poor tribal country, well, that child is growing up in a tribe where they're gonna hunt or cook their food, live off the environment. So it's a different scenario. But a lot of
They said the truth won't survive beside the lies that maintain the decaying faces of